So now we're going to talk about the low-code area of Jester. So this is basically the area inside the platform where you can create custom scripts or webhooks or other low-code tools that can help you automate your processes. So right now I'm in a test table, so there's nothing here. There's only a couple of things that I'm going to use later on to show you guys some automations. But if we want to go to the low-code area, all I have to do is go to this icon right here, which says automation. I can click on it, and then I can go to low-code. So when I click on it, I'm going to be transported to this area. And there's a couple of things here, so I'm going to run by section here, and then we're going to delve a little bit further in what specifically each part does. But for a quick breakdown, we have, first of all, we have the low-code tools, and they are separated by functions and triggers. So they're basically, they're kind of the same thing. So they're both low-code automations. So they're custom scripts that you're going to run depending on the situation. But the main difference between them is that functions are automations that you're going to run when an external platform calls Jester, when you click on a button. So there are certain conditions where you can invoke functions. So they're called by external actions. Let's put it like that. And then you have triggers. Triggers are kind of like the same thing. They're local automations, they're scripts, they're kind of bits of code. But the main difference is that they're going to run depending on events on your databases. So what I mean by that is that if we look at this table, for example, you can see that I have three records here. So let's think if I have an automation that is supposed to run when I create a record, when I update a record, when I delete a record. So if the thing that's going to cause the automation to run is dependent on a database event, then that's a trigger. So we're going to show you guys a little bit more later, but you can think of it as event-dependent automations. Okay, so for the next part, we have the API section in which we have the tables. Tables are the databases sections inside Jester. So I'm looking at this table. This is basically a database, right? So I have a title for the database, and then the fields are title, run automation, description. And what we have here is that if I click here on tables, it's going to list all of the tables inside my account. So you can see here, the name of this table is local table. And so it's down here. And if I click on it, then it's going to show me a few things. So first of all, it's going to show me the true name, the ID of the table. So this table is not actually called local table, it's called whatever this ID is. You guys can see it here. So this is important if you're trying to connect Jester through APIs and things like that. And then we also have the list of fields, and it's going to give me the field label, which is a dynamic name. It's whatever you name the field. It's going to give me an API field name. This is a name that it never changes. So for example, if I change the description field, the label, if I change it to like a custom text, it's not going to change the API field name. It's immutable. That's because if it did change, you would break all the automations, right? And then the field type, it's going to show if it's a user field, if it's a date field, if it's checkbox text, and so on. Then for the next section, we have webhooks. So basically inside Jester, you can create webhooks, which are basically custom URLs that you're going to do something with it. So usually what you're going to do is assign a function to a webhook. We're going to show this later. So basically what this means is that you can create a custom endpoint that when you call it, well, like for example with an external platform like Postman or some other platform that you're using, it's going to run the specific function that is assigned to that webhook. And then we have some links here for the API documentation, local documentation. So that's going to help you. It's going to bring you here. And this has all the information you need to start automating processes.